Let us start a new topic, directions. Directions are very important. It looks similar to seating arrangement. We got to know which is left, which is right. But here we'll get to know which is north, which is south, which is east, which is west. So every time you get a question on directions, you have to have an idea about east, west, north, south. You should also have an idea about northeast, northwest, southeast, southwest. I'll explain everything in detail, but these are the kind of questions which give you very easy marks. You should also know which is east and which is his east. These are the kind of things which will tell you a lot about directions. I'll explain each and everything, but let us try to understand each concept through questions. Let us try to answer questions. From every question we'll understand something or the other. Let us try to answer questions on directions now. Suppose the question is, Ram walks 4 kilometers towards west, then turns to his right to travel 9 kilometers. He turns towards east and travels 12 kilometers. Finally, he travels 3 kilometers towards south. How far is he from initial position? He is asking us to find out the distance from the initial position. So what happens is, in these kind of questions, you have to measure the shortest distance. Shortest distance measurement will be the hypotenuse. So you have to use the Pythagoras theorem. That means the right angle triangle. In all the questions, whenever he is asking us to find out how far is he, then you will be finding out the hypotenuse. Let us try to answer this so that we'll understand everything in detail. Ram walks 4 kilometers towards west. Let us first try to understand what is east, what is west, what is north, what is south. If I have to show it here, I can confidently say that this will be east, this will be west. That means right is east, left is west, and this is north, this is south, and this becomes northeast, this becomes southwest, and this is southeast, and this becomes northwest. Try to understand, this side is east and this side is west, and north south will be very easy to remember, but don't get confused saying that this is east, this is west. You try to understand that whatever you write in the book, the right side is east and left side is west. So this is something which is very important for you to understand before solving any question. Let us try to answer this question now. So please pay your attention. He said Ram walks 4 kilometers towards west. So let me start somewhere, but put a thick point here so that you will not get confused later. So Ram started here and he said 4 kilometers towards west. So let me draw a line and call it as 4 kilometers. Just draw a random line and say 4 kilometers. Then turns to his right to travel 9 kilometers. This is very important. He is turning towards his right. So if this is he, his right will be this direction, left will be this. Imagine you are in this place. This is right and this is left. He turned towards right and traveled 9 kilometers. Make sure that 9 kilometers line is bigger than 4 kilometers. Don't draw a shorter line. Don't measure it, but draw a bigger line and call it as 9 kilometers. Then what did he say? He turned towards east. This is his direction. He is turning towards east. East is this direction. This is something I have shown it here. So please remember, east is right direction. So he turned towards right and traveled 12 kilometers. Make sure 12 is more than 4. So let me draw a big line. This is 12 kilometers. So this is 12. And now he is facing towards east. Then what did he say? Finally, he turns 3 kilometers towards south. He came down 3 kilometers. 3 kilometers should be shorter than 9. So let me draw a small line, 3 kilometers. This is 3 kilometers. And he is here now. Now he is asking us how far is he from the initial position. This is the initial position, this is the final position. And he is asking us to find out what is the distance between these 2 points. So this is the question. So I have to find out this distance. So try to understand, this is 9 and this is 3. So this has to be 6 without any doubt, because if this is 9, this has to be 9. Already 3 is over. So this should be 6. And this is 12, this is 4. So this should be 8. So if this is 6 and this is 8, I want to know the hypotenuse. And if this is 6 and 8, this will be 10. This is something I have explained it. When this is 6 and 8, this will be 10. If you want to calculate, you can calculate 6 square plus 8 square under root will be your answer. If I say this is A, this is B, this is C, and this is a triangle ABC, then AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. That means my answer will be 8 square plus 6 square is equal to AC square. This is equal to 64 plus 36. This is equal to 100. AC square is equal to 100. That implies AC is equal to 10. So your answer for this question is 10 kilometers, because he is asking us to answer in kilometers. So once you know which is east and which is west properly, then these questions will be very easy to answer. Let us answer another question. So please pay your attention. Suppose the question is, Lakshman travels 7 kilometers towards south, then 5 kilometers towards his west. This is very, very important. Then he said he further travels 5 kilometers towards south. How far is he from starting point? Similar to the previous question, but this information is very important. Now let us start saying that Lakshman travels 7 kilometers towards south. If this is the starting point, I can say 7 kilometers towards south. Let me draw a line towards south and say 7 kilometers. Now he is facing this direction. Then he said 5 kilometers towards his west. His west is always his left. Please try to understand, his west will be his left. If it was directly given as west, I would have taken this direction, but he said his west. That means if this is he, his west will be his left. His left is this direction, so he has travelled 5 kilometers towards his west. His west is his left, west is normal west. His east is always his right. His east will be his right. So please try to understand, his west and his east are very, very important. His west is his left, his east is his right. That is with respect to him, right and left. But normal east is always this direction, normal west is this direction. But here he said his west, he was facing south, so his west will become east here. So he has moved to this direction. Now he said he further travels 5 kilometers towards south. Now it is normal south. He didn't say his south. His south would have been reverse. His south is back, his north is front. But he didn't say his south, he just said towards south. South is a proper south is down. So he came down how many kilometers? 5 kilometers. So he is here now. And then the question is, how far is he from the starting point? Now I have to measure the distance between this point and this point. Very, very simple. If this is 7 and this is 5, this will also be 5. And if this is 5, this is already 7, the total length of this will be 12. So I can say the total length is 12 because 7 plus 5, which is 12. And if this is 5, this will be 5. So I can confidently say this is 12 and this is 5. I have to measure the hypotenuse. If I say this is A, this is B, this is C, then my answer is AB square plus BC square is equal to AC square. So I can say AC is equal to 12 square plus 5 square under root. So that is nothing but it is 144 plus 25 under root. It is equal to 169 under root. So my answer is equal to 13. So how many kilometers? It is 13 kilometers. The length of this will be 13 kilometers. The only thing I wanted to explain here is his west is always his left, his east is right. East is east, west is west. But whenever it is given as his, you have to be very, very careful. Very simple, you have to answer this question in this way. Let us answer more questions now. Suppose the question is, he very clearly said Rajesh travelled 500 meters from his house towards north. Then he took left turn and travelled 80 meters. Then 260 meters towards his left and again 400 meters towards his left. How far is he from the starting point? Very much similar to the previous question. Let us say Rajesh travelled 500 meters from his house towards north. North is the upward direction. I will start here and I will say he travelled 500 meters. So let me put 500 meters towards north. So he is facing this direction. Then he said he took left turn and travelled 80 meters. Left is his left, that means this turn, and he travelled only 80 meters. So this will be a small line, that is 80 meters. Then he said 260 meters towards his left. 260 towards his left. If this is he, his right will be up and his left will be down. So he came down 260 meters. That is approximately half of this. So 260 meters. It has to be smaller than this. You can't draw a big line. So 260 meters towards his left. Now he is facing this direction. Then he said 400 meters towards his left again. 400 meters towards his left. If this is he is facing downwards. If this is you, your left will be towards this side. So he came 400 meters towards that side. This is only 80. So this total should be 400. So it has to be bigger than this. So I can say the total here is 400. So he is here now. And now the question is, how far is he from the starting point? Very, very simple. Now I have to know the distance between this point and this point. So this is something which is asked. So what I will do now is, I know this is equal to 500 and this is 260. So obviously this part will be 240. So this is 240. And I know this total is 400 and this is 80. If this is 80 and total is 400, this part will be 320. Again a very similar question. If I have to know this is a hypotenuse. I can say my answer will be 240 square plus 320 square under root. We all know 24 square is 576. So it will be 57600 plus 32 square is equal to 1024. So I will be writing it as 102400 under root. So I can confidently say my answer is 1024 plus 576 is equal to 1600 and 00 under root. So I can say 16 under root is 4. For 2 zeros you will have 1 0, for 2 zeros you will have 1 0. So my answer for this question is 400 meters. So this distance will be equal to 400 meters. It is all about drawing this diagram properly. When you draw this properly, when you take left and right properly, then every question will be very easy. Let us solve few more questions now. Suppose the question is, he said Sachin travels 16 kilometers towards west. From there, he travels 8 kilometers towards east. Now he goes 4 kilometers towards north. In which direction is he with respect to the starting point? This time he is not asking us to measure the distance. He is asking us to find out in which direction is he. First, let us know the directions. This is east and this is west. This is north, this is south. This is northeast and this is southeast. And this will be southwest and this will be northwest. So these are the directions which you all have to know. Now let us try to answer this question. He said Sachin travels 16 kilometers towards west. So this is west. I'll start Sachin here and I'll say this is 16 kilometers towards west. Then he said from there he travels 8 kilometers towards east. From there he travelled 8 kilometers towards east, not towards his east, towards east. East is a proper east. If he said his east, I would have gone to this direction. But he said east, that means he came back. He came back how many kilometers? 8 kilometers. He went 16, he came back half. Then he said now he goes 4 kilometers towards north. So he went 4 kilometers towards north. So he went towards north 4. Now he is asking us to find out in which direction is he with respect to the starting point. This is the starting point and here he is. That means he is in this direction. If I say this is east, this is west, this is north and this is south, this will be equal to northwest because this direction is northwest. So your answer for this question is northwest. He is in which direction? He is in northwest direction. Very simple. The only thing I want to explain is his east, his west, his south, his north are different from north, east, south, west. So that is something you all have to understand. If he had said his west, then that would have been different. If he had said his east, that would have been different. He said east, that means he came back because that is east. He went towards west and he came back towards east. That is as simple as this. Let us answer a few more questions now. Suppose the question is, he said after traveling 8 kilometers, I turned right and traveled 3 kilometers, then turned right and traveled 2 kilometers. Now if I am moving towards west, in which direction did I start my journey? He didn't give us in which direction he started. Let us say he traveled straight 8 kilometers. Then I turned right and traveled 3. I turned right and traveled 3. Then turned right and traveled 2. If this is the direction, right of this will be this direction. So turned right and traveled 2. Then he said, now if I am moving towards west, if this direction is west, I started in this direction, I turned right, then again I turned right. So if this is west, he is asking us to find out what is this direction. If this is west, the opposite of west will be east. So I started my journey in east direction. Because I didn't know, I have started in this way, later realized that this is west, so this has to be east. If I turn this completely, then this becomes this direction. So it appears as if this one and this one. So this is how the journey happened. This is east and this is west. So that is how you have to answer. If this is west, this will be east. Let us answer one more question. Suppose the question is, from her house, Sneha travels 8 kilometers towards south. She then turns right and travels 12 kilometers. She again travels 8 kilometers towards left. How far is she from her house? Very simple. This is similar to what we have done before. From her house, Sneha travels 8 kilometers towards south. Let us take south direction 8 kilometers. And from there, she turns right. If this is her direction, right of this will be this direction because she is going towards south. If you are in this place, this becomes right. She turns right and travels 12 kilometers. This should be bigger than 8. This is 12 kilometers. Then he said, She again travels 8 kilometers towards left. If this is she, her left will be this direction. She came down 8, because if this is you, this will be left and that will be right. She came down 8 kilometers and she is here now. And now the question is, how far is she from her house? This is her house and I have to measure this distance now. So this is something which is asked. If this is 8 and this is 8, this will also be 8. If this is 8 and this is 8, put together it will be 16. So the measurement here is 16. The distance here is 16. If this is 12, this will also be 12. So I know this is 16 and this is 12. I have to measure this. If this is 12 and this is 16, this has to be 20. We have discussed this. 16, 12 will become 20. Otherwise, if I have to answer, I can say 12 square plus 16 square under root, 144 plus 256 under root, 400 under root, which is equal to 20 kilometers. So this is how you can answer these kind of questions. Let us answer a few more questions now. Suppose the question is, Kiran traveled a distance of 60 meters towards south. Now he turns right and travels 45 meters. He then travels 30 meters towards north. Further travels by turning 45 degrees in clockwise direction. In which direction is he traveling now? And this information becomes very, very important. Let us do it in the similar way what we have done before. Kiran traveled a distance of 60 meters towards south. If this is Kiran, he traveled 60 meters towards south, and then he said now he turns right and travels 45 meters. His right will be this one and he traveled 45 meters. So this is 45, because he is traveling towards south, this will become right. And then he said he then travels 30 meters towards north. 30 meters towards north, that means towards top. He didn't say his north, he just said north. So this should be 30 meters and he is in this direction now. Then he said further travels by turning 45 degrees clockwise direction. 45 degrees clockwise. Clockwise is this direction, anti-clockwise will be the opposite. So this is clock, that means how the clock moves. So he turned 45 degrees, that means he turned towards this direction. Now he is moving towards this direction. And the question is, in which direction is he traveling now? He is traveling towards this direction. We all know the directions. This is east, this is west, this is south and this is north. And this person is traveling towards this direction. This direction is north east. So your answer for this question is northeast, because he is moving in this direction. This is northeast direction. This will be northwest, this will be southwest and this will be southeast. He is moving towards this direction, that is nothing but it is northeast. So once you know the directions properly, even these questions will be very, very easy. Let us solve another one now. Suppose the question is, he said Vishal, who is facing north, turns 90 degrees in clockwise and then 135 degrees in anti-clockwise direction. Which direction is he facing now? He said Vishal, who is facing north. So he is facing north. He turned 90 degrees clockwise. That means towards this direction. 90 degrees is this. He turned 90 degrees clockwise direction. Then 135 anti-clock. If he turns back 90 degrees anti-clock, he will be straight. He turned 135. So he has turned towards this direction, because anti-clockwise is opposite to clock. So 135 degrees is here. This is 90 plus 45. So 135. So he turned towards this direction. Now the question is, which direction is he facing now? Which direction is he facing now? This is the direction. We all know the directions. This is east, this is west, this is south and this is north. And he is facing this direction. This direction is northwest, because this direction is northwest. This is northwest. So your answer for this question is northwest. Once you know the directions, again these questions will become very, very easy. Let us answer last couple of questions. Is, one morning Ram and Shyam were talking facing each other. It is observed that Ram's shadow fell towards his left. In which direction Shyam was facing? Very, very simple and very interesting question. He said one morning Ram and Shyam were facing each other, and he very clearly said Ram's shadow fell towards his left. Ram's shadow fell towards his left, and in morning sun rises in the east. So when sun rises in the east, and he very clearly said Ram's shadow fell towards his left, that means Ram will be facing this direction. Only then Ram's shadow will fall towards his left. So this is Ram facing and this is Shyam facing. That means Ram will be facing north and Shyam will be facing south. Only then the shadow falls towards Ram's left. So very, very simple. The question is, in which direction Shyam was facing? He was facing south, because sun rises in the east in morning. So shadow falls towards his left only when he faces north. So Ram facing north, and the answer for this question is south. Shyam is facing south? Very, very interesting question. You'll get to know this only when you know the directions. Let us answer one last question on directions. Suppose the question is, when a watch shows 7:45, the minute's hand points towards east. When the watch shows 3 o'clock, which direction does the hour hand point? Very, very simple. You know the clocks, and if this is the clock, he said 7:45. At 7:45,